the lights they have. Towing and pushing vessels, Rule 24, and then sailing vessels and vessels under oars, vessels engaged in fishing, and vessels not under command. It also covers vessels constrained by draft, pilot vessels, when you're anchored or aground, and also seaplanes. When do you have to have these lights on in the shapes? They should be on from sunset to sunrise, or in any time you have restricted visibility, then your lights should be on. We're going to start out by defining the different types of lights on vessels, and then take a look at the power-driven vessels in towing and pushing. Different types of lights. We call the masthead light. It's a white light placed on the mast, generally center line over the vessel. It has an arc of visibility of 225 degrees. Now, sometimes referred to as a steaming light. Many of your electric panels will call it a steaming light. It's referred to as the masthead light. Then we have our side lights. Green for the starboard side, of course red for port. Many of you may have heard the port wine, which is red, so that's the left side. Has an arc of visibility of 112 degrees for each light. And then you have your stern light, which is white, and it has an arc of visibility of 135 degrees. Remember, 22.5 degrees abaft the beam, this is still that overtaking zone also. You have your side lights, your stern light, and your masthead light. And a lot of boats, especially sailboats, have a all-around white light at the top, which is your anchor light. Then we come to tugboats that are towing. They have a towing light. It has the same characteristics as your stern light, but of course it's yellow in type of color. And then many boats have all-around lights. It could be white for your anchor light, maybe red, all-around green, all-around blue. And then we have flashing lights. A flashing light is more than 120 times per minute. You would find these on submarines. Hovercraft uses yellow light flashing. Your law enforcement, customs uses law enforcement, and the Coast Guard uses the flashing light, blue in color. And then public safety, sort of like your sea tow or boats, recovery boats, public safety boats have red and yellow flashing lights. So submarines are yellow, hovercraft, and then law enforcement are blue, and public safety are red and yellow. Then we have what we call a special flashing light. We have the flashing light, but now there's a special flashing light. What's different about it, it's for inland waters only. It's yellow in color, but its arc of visibility is different. It's 180 to 225 degrees of visibility. And it goes, flashes 50 to 70 flashes per minute, not the 120, and it always goes on the barge, inland on the barge only. The next we want to talk about the lights that are on these vessels. We defined them, what the masthead light is, and the stern light, and the side lights. We could first talk about power-driven vessels. Of course, they have to have the masthead light, the side lights, the red and green, and the stern light. That's fairly straightforward. And at night, the power-driven vessel underway will still have his lights on, all navigation lights. Even though he's not making way, it will still have all the power lights on. And if you're up to 50 meters in length, that's a pretty good sized powerboat, then your masthead light and stern light are all separate, and the side lights are separate. And they may look something like that. Once you become over 50 meters in length, then you have to have two masthead lights, one forward and one aft, and the one aft is higher. So then they have two masthead lights. So he's got a masthead light forward, one aft, the two side lights, red and green, and then his stern light if he's over 50 meters. Here's a small power-driven vessel less than 12 meters. They can combine that masthead and stern light together. A lot of small boats, you see it on the stern. So the front portion is your masthead light, 225, and then the stern light, 135. And also you see that the red and green light, the bow lights, are also combined together. So that's on a small vessel. Viewing them from the side, from the bow, or from the stern. Here's that 7 and 7 rule. Power-driven vessel less than 7 meters in length, not exceeding 7 knots, then he can get by with just one all-around white light. And this is strictly an international rule. So once you go to the shoreward side of the demarcation line, then you become a powerboat and you need your side lights, masthead light, and stern light. If you're a hovercraft, you have your running lights, but in addition to that, you have a yellow flashing light so that other vessels seeing you with the red and green in your mast and stern light also see the yellow flashing light, indicating that you're more than just a power-driven vessel. Rule 24. If you're in an area where you have tugboats nearby you, then